of God's material nature. Indra, for example, administrates rain. Surya is the presiding deity of the sun planet. Chandra, the moon. Vayu is the air. Varuna, the ocean. Bhumi, the earth, etc. As for Ganga, she is known as a foremost devotee of the Supreme Lord Vishnu, who appeared on the earth simply to purify its inhabitants. Every evening at 7, Haridwar gathers at Har Ki Pauri for the warm-heartening ceremony which we are now attending amidst the 2 or 3 millions present. That is the Ganga Puja. Puja is the Sanskrit for worship. These very majestic lamps are thus being offered to Ganga Devi, waved about ceremoniously by priests. The combustible is called ghee or clarified butter, a symbol of great opulence. And what a cheerful moment! The feeling of intense communion with everyone around this loving Ganga Mata will not fail to enter even the most faithless heart. Finally, upon completion of the worship, thousands of pilgrims then proceed to offer their own little pujas, with incense, flowers, and a flame of camphor. These articles are placed in tiny boats made of leaves, which are then put afloat. There is nothing so charming as the sight of these hundreds of flames shining along the dark, holy current. Yes, it's Kumbha Day. This morning it's not water flowing by Haridwar, but pure nectar. And it better be, because pilgrims couldn't just have died for nothing. Died? But how is that? Well, it happened earlier, just before sunrise. You might have called it the nectar rush. Just imagine hundreds of thousands trying to pass over this narrow bridge at once. Yes, a frightening scene, and so will it go on throughout the day until tonight. Would you like to go swimming today? If yes, you need not set foot on the ground. The crowd will carry you all the way in sort of a rough, high-pressured and tossing body ride. And should you witness some old lady vanishing under this ocean of faces, pray for her soul, for she might have been one of the 50 people trampled underfoot this year. While the mob continues to thrive for the immersion of the decade, sadhus remain aloof from the action, patiently awaiting for their hour to arrive. Tradition has it that great yogis and spiritual leaders enjoy the privilege of an exclusive access to the Har Ki Pauri bathing ghat during the prime hour. That moment was calculated as being the most auspicious for bathing, and during the hour preceding its occurrence, all people refrain from bathing out of regard for these elevated souls. Such is the tradition. The great masters and renunciates must inaugurate the celebration by taking the first dip at the choicest moment, thus leaving behind their energies for the common folks to absorb. There is an order for the sage's appearance, which is according to spiritual status and reputation. One after the other, by virtue of their merit, powerful acharyas and mystic yogis shall march past the acclaims of thrilled onlookers. And let it be reminded that these personalities appear in public but once or a few times every 12 years. Living a life of mystic austerity in seclusion, some of them go naked from head to feet. They are called the Naga Babas, indicating their vow of complete nudity throughout the year. They may neither wear clothes nor keep female association in their midst. Their rugged skin smeared over with ashes in the image of Lord Shiva,
They wear a body-length long matted hair, often tied in a coil resting on their heads. The Naga Babas have enjoyed the privilege of first dipping in the holy waters from remote times. Once, when India's president came and demanded that he be the first to bathe, the Naga Babas became sort of, shall we say, a little upset. Since then, no government official ever asked again for a special treatment. The general attention is now switched from Har Ki Pauri to the path which the Naga Babas are scheduled to be passing by shortly before 12 noon. Various processions go on for the time being until... Hey, what's going on? The crowd is going wild. Well, that's it. We're never gonna be able to film this. No, there they are, running. The crowd redoubles its acclaims to honor their favorite heroes. They are so fond of them that oftentimes people are seen collecting dust after the Naga's passage. Gradually, the more sober and meditative Naga Babas proceed on solemnly, while cheers continue in intensity. Pilgrims are quite aware of these men's glory as ascetics. In fact, no one really knows how the Babas transport themselves from their hermitages to the Kumbha site. They are not to be seen in cars, in buses, trains, nor walking along roads. The rumor goes that they fly in a straight line by their mystic powers. They generally live in groups, each one headed by a guru whose potency is mystifying. For the occasion, many shave their beards and locks as a sacrifice, thus revealing their glowing skulls. Shiva, the Lord of Destruction, is their god, and yet, unless provoked, the Naga Babas will not hurt others and are strict vegetarians. Everyone knows, however, that picture-taking and filming of their naked bodies is a sure way to have your camera forcibly snatched and destroyed by them. This we saw happen to less fortunate adventurers. Behind the Nagas arrive various great spiritualists, and they all proceed on to a long bridge across the large Ganges River. We must remind ourselves that today it's not water flowing, but the same divine elixir of immortality as that contained in the original jug. Waiting for the moment to arrive, everyone religiously stands on the bank until the signal is given. None but the Naga Babas are to plunge in, as long as they bathe and until they left Har Ki Pauri. 3, 2, 1. The Nagas are let loose, splashing ecstatically in the nectar. And the bad news is that a security agent tapped on our cameraman's shoulder from behind, thus interrupting the shooting of the Naga bath. After different personalities immerse themselves in turn, everyone finally dies, and a tumultuous, triumphant, very joyous and holy sport takes place. The tower's clock indicates 2 o'clock. It's peak time. Ganga seems drowned in an ocean of devotees. The 2 shrines situated in the midstream are the Sri Ganga Mandir and the Gadadhar Mahadev Mandir, which contains a Shiva Linga and a footprint of Lord Hari. On the bank is the temple of Lakshmi Narayan and a few other minor shrines. Har Ki Pauri is also the place where Lord Brahma, Svetamanu, Kapila Dev and numerous Puranic personalities used to meditate in the days of yore. The most common sight today is water containers filled with Ganges nectar. Pilgrims will probably store and use this water for worship for the next few years. Half a mile away from Har Ki Pauri on Rishikesh Road is Bhimagoda, a tank and temple dedicated to Bhimasena, the second Pandava brother of Arjuna. The story goes that Bhima created this pond with his own weight when he jumped off the adorning cliff next to it. The water contained in this pond is considered as potent as the Ganges, and on the bank, pilgrims are devotedly watering a Shiva linga.